Many people are worried about whether or not the unemployment boost will continue with the next stimulus package. And although it's true it will continue in some form, there's a lot of confusion about how much it's going to be, how long it's going to last, when it's going to start up. We are here today in this video to clear up all of that confusion for you. Welcome back, everybody. This is your stimulus update for Saturday, July 25th. And on this episode, we are talking the unemployment boost, and we're going to clear through all of the confusion that has been surrounding it and what it's going to look like. Yesterday, we did a video on the next $1,200 direct payment that you are likely to see, and we got so many likes from that video. The viewership increased nearly 100%. I want to thank you guys for that, and I want to ask you if you can once again click on the like button, because it does impact how YouTube shares this with other individuals. And there are so many people who need this information to be cleared up for them. See if we can increase this more than 100%, but let's get right into it. So what's up with the unemployment boost? What is it going to look like? The first thing you need to know is there's actually multiple plans right now. The first one is the House's plan. This was written a couple of months ago. It's within the HEROES Act, and it's put forth primarily by Democrat leaders. It is exactly the same as what's in the CARES Act. So what happened in the CARES Act is that the federal government is providing an additional $600 per week boost for anybody that's finding themselves on unemployment during this pandemic. Here is an example for you. If you earn about $1,000 per week, which is about the average median wage in the United States of America, your state might offer you about 45% of your wages in unemployment. I know in New York State, if you earn about $52,000 a year, New York will pay you about $504 per week, which is about 50% of your wages. So this is a very good example. You're paid normally $1,000. Your state gives you 45%, meaning they will pay you $450 per week. But wait a second, you earn $1,000 per week and now you're only getting $450, and the federal government forced your place of business to shut down. Well, what the government's going to do under the House plan is pay you an additional $600 per week, which means you'll get $450 from the state, $600 from the federal government, for a total of $1,050 per week, which is nearly identical to what you were earning before. And so you can see why a lot of people do like this plan, because it pays nearly identical to what you earned before, maybe even just a little bit more in many cases, which, hey, it's the middle of a pandemic. This is a good thing. Get a little bit more money in the pockets of the average American citizen. It will help them out. You can also see why there's many critics of this plan, because they see this as, hey, if it's going to pay you a little bit more than what you're getting at your job when you work, that's not okay, because it's not going to incentivize you to go back to work. This is in the House's plan right now, and they would extend this pay, this boost, for everybody up to December 31st, 2020. Here's the thing though, the House voted and passed this unemployment portion of the bill. The Senate did not. So this currently, as is written, is not going through, which means we now have the Senate's plan for the unemployment boost. It's not written in a bill yet. There is no hard copy of it, but they've already told us what it's going to be. There's actually two different options to the Senate's plan. Option number one, the unemployment boost will get you to 70% of your normal weekly income. You are getting paid about $1,000 per week. Your state offers you up to 45% of your income in unemployment, which means your state is going to pay you $450 per week. The government is going to give you an additional boost of money. So under this situation, the government's going to pay you $250 additional per week. So you can see there, the state's going to give you $450. The federal government's going to boost it by $250, which means you will get $700 a week, which is exactly 70% of your normal pay. Senate Republican leaders like this plan because they believe it's enough for people to get by on while they're on unemployment during the pandemic, but it's also not enough for them not to be incentivized to go back to work. But you can also see why there's a lot of people who don't like this plan, especially in the context of our current situation, which is that the government forced your business to shut down. But then they're like, we'll just make sure that you get 70% of your wages, even if your job is not available anymore. A lot of people look at that and they go, you shut my place of business down, and now after you forced my job to shut down, you're only going to get me to 70%. Thank you so much. However, the Republican leadership do have a second option, which they are thinking about, which would be a much lower flat rate unemployment boost, around $200 per week. So basically, it would be like the $600 per week boost, but just a much lower number. And you might say, well, Vin, why do they have two different options? Why don't they just go with one or the other? The reason they have two different options is because that first option is very complicated, especially when you're dealing with 50 different states, their data, how they attain the information, how they calculate it out, all of their computer systems, and then you got to get the percentage right for every single American citizen on unemployment, it can be very complicated. I mean, the government couldn't even get a flat rate correct. So basically the leaders are like, this is an idea we like, but we know we probably can't institute it. So how about just a much lower flat rate? It's almost likely that this is going to pass the Senate, but it's very unlikely to pass the House. Democrat leaders do not want to lower the amount of the unemployment boost. They like the $600 number. I could see them compromising on a $400 number, but I can't see them compromising to a $200 number or 70% of your wages when the government literally forced your business to shut down is a semi-insult. Not under normal context, though. Normal context, that would be wonderful. You just lost your job, your business shut down. But if the government forced it to shut down, it's definitely an insult. At the end of the day, Vin, which one is going to get through? Which one's going to pass? If you had to ask me what's going to get through, I think that there's going to be a flat rate unemployment boost that's going to continue for the rest of the year. I think it's going to be flat rate because it's the simplest and the easiest. I don't think they're going to continue the $600 boost, but I do think that $400 is a very good compromise. I think it gets people through the situation as comfortably as they possibly can. It still incentivizes them to go back to work, and I think it's a good agreement between both Republicans and Democrats. I think $200 is too low. I think 70% of your normal wages under the context of the situation is a little bit of an insult. I believe that continuing the $600 boost might be a little bit too much in most situations. Therefore, I think it's going to be about $400 flat rate that's going to continue through the rest of the year. And if they can get their act together and pass this thing by the end of July or by the August 7th recess, they will be able to continue this thing about the second week of August. They can't get their act together and they go on recess and they don't vote on this thing until September, then that's going to be a problem. But I don't foresee that happening. There are many in the Republican leadership who want to piecemeal this together and get some of the important things done first in one bill and then put some other things in another bill. I also don't think that's going to happen either because Democrats see that as a ploy where they lose their leverage to get all the other things they want to get in. So I don't think they're going to piecemeal it. I think they're going to do everything in the same bill at the same time. I think they're going to compromise on this one and they're going to meet at about $400 per week. I hope this information has been helpful for you. Again, if it was, please like the video, share, subscribe. It's going to get it out to a lot of people who need this information because they are very concerned about what's going to be happening going forward. As always, I will catch you guys next time.